How to pay off a home fast. Did you know that on average, it takes most people nearly 30 years to pay off a 30-year mortgage? Well, did you know that that is nearly 23 more years than the average millionaire? Well, it's absolutely true. I can show you how to pay off your home fast so that you can build wealth quicker. Let's go.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, or you need to do it better, well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
I'm going to share with you a step-by-step process on how you could potentially pay off a 30-year mortgage in less than 7. I'm going to share with you the easiest way that I've learned to clear debt from my name. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to share with you 2 things that you need to do before you ever start paying off a mortgage. So the number 1 easiest thing to do to pay off a mortgage really quickly is just to send in extra payments. I know this sounds super simple, but I'm going to give you this because it's the easiest thing to do. All you have to do is send in 1 extra payment per year and you will knock off 7 years from your mortgage. Yes, you heard that right. So for example, instead of sending in 12 payments per year, if you just sent in 13 payments per year, you would knock off 7 years from that 30-year mortgage on average, just by sending in 1 extra payment that goes directly to principal. Because the way that mortgages works and paying off a home works is most of the payments in the mortgage in the beginning all go to interest. For example, if you have a mortgage and it costs $1,000, probably $800 or $900 of that payment is going towards interest, and only $100 or $200 is going to pay down the principal balance. So if you want to pay off the principal balance, you need to send in extra payments. And it's really easy to send in just 1 extra payment per year. I'm going to give you a secret way to do this. Instead of making 1 payment per month, if you send in bi-weekly payments, you will send in 26 of those instead of 24, and that will equal 1 extra payment per year. It's super easy to do, and again, it will knock off on average 7 years from a 30-year mortgage. Super simple. All right, let me give you some more tips. Number 2, house hacking. This is an incredible thing that I got into very late and I tell my students to do immediately. So many people do not pay off their mortgage because they buy a single family home and then they just live in it. At that point, it's not an asset. It's just somewhere to stay and it's just dead money. It's not much different than renting except for the fact that the home is going up in value and you will be getting some equity. But if you house hack, meaning if you do not live in that property and you either let someone stay with you and rent out some of the rooms, or if you got a multi-family property, for example, a duplex or a triplex or a fourplex, those types of properties are still considered residential and you can get traditional financing, meaning you could get a conventional loan backed by Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, a regular loan from your bank. That type of mortgage is available to you even on a 2, 3, or 4 unit property. So that way you could live in one of the units and easily rent out all the rest of the units that will not only cover your mortgage, but in many cases cover extra payments so you could pay down that home even faster. It is incredible. So many young people are doing this and I absolutely love it. It's an amazing way to pay off a home fast. House hacking. If you like house hacking and you understand it and if you've done it, comment below and let me know. I read all of the comments and I want to help you be successful in real estate and pay off your mortgage fast. Number 3, make it a rental property. So many times people again buy a home and they just want to live in it and stay in it forever. But instead of buying a home that you're just going to live in, you should make it into a rental property. Even if you initially intended to live in it as your primary residence, you could just live in it a few months and then move out and make it into a rental property. This will allow you to start cash flowing from that property and use someone else's money to pay down your mortgage. You can then get another property and start building your portfolio. So if you want to pay off your mortgage fast, you want to use other people's money, and making that property into a rental property is an amazing way to get started. You could even make just 1 or 2 rooms in your property, an Airbnb, and start monetizing it that way to help pay down your mortgage. So as a bonus, like I said, let me tell you 2 things that you need to look into before you try to pay off your home fast. Mortgages usually have an interest deduction that you can file on your tax returns. And for most people, this is a deduction that you want and need. It will lower your tax liability. So sometimes paying off your mortgage is not the benefit that you think that it is. In many cases, it will increase your tax liability, and the offset of paying off the mortgage versus the tax deduction doesn't really mesh. In many cases, you want those tax deductions because it reduces your tax liability. Having mortgages is not a bad thing, especially if you are monetizing your properties and having rental properties, either long-term or short-term rentals like Airbnb. There's so many ways to start making money on your real estate so that you're not concerned about the mortgage and you're just using that mortgage to give you better tax deductions. So think about that before you ever decide to pay off your mortgage. How much money could you make on the property if you made it into a rental? And what are the tax deductions that the mortgage is providing to you? You want to think about both of those things before you start paying off the mortgage, because paying off the mortgage doesn't necessarily benefit every person. You really need to look into your personal situation to make sure that it works for you. In Noelle's situation, I do not always pay off my mortgages. In fact, I don't really try to anymore. I'm in such a high income bracket that I really need all of the tax deductions that I can get. And real estate is an amazing thing for tax deductions and to leverage the equity in it to get more real estate. So if you want to learn all about real estate and how to make money in real estate, not just buy a house and live in, I can teach you absolutely free at noellsfreetraining.com. That's noellsfreetraining.com. It's an entire course. It was just a little bit too long to put here, but it will teach you all of what you need to know and my exact formula for investing in real estate without losing money. You can check out this training at noellsfreetraining.com because I want to make sure that you have all of the resources, all of the tools, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle. To your success.